What you see is what you get.
WFNG.
Fly nerds. You see it and say it. Yeah, you see black excellence and intelligence. We now combine. Fly nerds on the verge of connecting the minds. North, south, east, west, over digital lines. Catalogs of the culture inside. Seen it with our own eyes. We done been through the trends and phases. The names and the legacy, the changing faces. We can't talk shop, only dealing the truth. You tuning in to the Fly Nerd group, so let the peoples in. Yeah.
WFNG.
FNG.
Fly Nerd Radio.
Yeah. So let the people in.
WFNG. Fly Nerd Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen and ladies, all fly nerd and nerdettes, you are now in tune to
the only podcast that goes from knowledge to born every single week.
WFNG Fly Nerd Radio.
Peace.
We are your lovely host of Fly Nerd Group. We talk about hip-hop, comic books, and all other dope shit in between. I am Slapface Galactus.
And I am Ambi Warhol, the Allah, you rock star.
And I'm the final boss. So, man, that was a pretty smooth intro.
Yeah, very, very to the point, precise, right and exact.
I like that. Record that one. But so, let's get into it, man. You know, a lot been going on in the world today. I mean, you haven't been out here in Chicago, but the DNC was out here for a week. And
I caught the first end of it trying to get through them checkpoints.
Right.
Flying back. So they had it in two different places. They had it over at the United Center. Over at McCormick Place.
In McCormick Place. McCormick Place was the actual convention. So
that's where all the vendors.
Yeah, shout out to Chris Adams. He was covering that portion. A lot of black vendors, a lot of local vendors, a lot of homegrown vendors was in there representing and supporting that cause. And it was good. I didn't get a chance to go to the actual convention. But it was a shitload of events, dude. I mean, shitload of events,
Yeah.
Tons of people was out here in Chicago, dude. I mean, like me literally bumping into J.J. Abrams in the comic book store.
That's
what I mean?
That's finesse.
That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, he's just like, wait a minute, what you know what I mean? Like, where?
Ooh, like, why are you here?
What's going on?
Hey, what's ill about that is that it's the realness of it, right? So notwithstanding all the political shit, and notwithstanding his stature as J.J. Abrams, if there's one place, and this is where we get into the culture, is one place where real people will be in real places. And the comic book shop is a real place. Only real ones go there. Only real ones will be seen there.
All likes too. Women, men, everybody. You know what I mean? If you want to get some of this stuff, and this is where the world is turning. It's been doing this, you know what I mean? The world been converted into this culture. So, yeah. And if you're creative and on top of all that, you're missing out.
Seriously. and it's ill because, like, when we talk about, networking, and, one of the things about culture is customs, traditions, the things that you marry onto yourself that other people have married onto themselves, and thus making you alikes, right? And so now you're in a comic book shop, you're doing your thing. So you right there with J.J. Abrams. That's connection, right? That's the unspoken connection. You don't even have to say no words.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Some people, did you give them a movie script?
Let them shop. You know what I'm saying? Let them shop. It's understood. It don't have to be that way.
Yeah, it's not the time and place. It's a time and place for everything, people. And you gotta stop being thirsty. And that was my whole point of bringing it up, because Chicago, we was flooded with just people. You know what I mean? It's not even about directors and popularity. We had delegates out here. We had motherfuckers out here that you'll never imagine.
You have no idea the power that they have and the influence they have over policy and the things that affect your life in a way that you don't even realize.
Right.
Which is really the subtlety.
So to see someone just doing average human shit is kind of like you said, you just soak that in, enjoy,
Mhm.
and we all connected anyway. We had peace. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? No one barred him down and was talking to him. Only person he knew was shout out to my damn, what's his name? But yeah, Graham Cracker, man, the manager.
Right.
I think his name Mike. He talking. We talked about it afterwards. You know what I mean? But other than that, that was it. You know what I mean? And yeah, it was tons of events, tons of shit going on. Busta Rhymes was out here. D.L. Hughley was out here. Fucking
Mhm.
shit. T-Pain was out here.
It was a lot of performances.
It was tons of performances, tons of acts, tons of events, tons of keynote speaker sessions and shit like that. It was just crazy. In addition to
the actual,
you know what I mean,
the actual conversations that were in play. I mean, let's be honest.
Common was here. He performed.
Yeah.
I
Twice,
see why
my understanding. Like twice during the convention.
Yeah, I see why he didn't put Chicago on this tour. Because
He didn't have to because he was here. He's going to be here.
Yeah.
And I guess to be fair, so I get it, because if I'm from Chicago, I'm not putting a tour date for my city. I'm gonna do that shit for free.
Really?
I'm gonna give Chicago I'm gonna give Chicago the show.
Yeah.
Because this home. Like, I'm gonna go collect the revenue
Another play like they do us. Like they do us. Yep.
Exactly.
Yep.
So, that's how I feel about that whole element. Is I appreciate when Common comes home. Like, he typically tries to do free shows, or he will do at least one free show somewhere.
He'll hook it up for the folks. Yeah, he'll hook it up for the folks.
And he's done, like, I think since he did the park one, he's done 3, right? He's done a total of 3 in the last 30 days.
Man, dude, he did 3 shows in the last 30 days because of convention. In addition to that, he's been doing like industry things here and there too. So he been in Chicago since that big show. He been in Chicago probably before then. I think he been here all summer.
He probably did a Chicago summer here, kicked it, hung out with.
And that's good, man. That's good because you breathe life back into the city. And everyone talk about they gotta leave Chicago and all that shit. Now niggas coming to Chicago, you know what I mean?
Here looking for the life, for the spark.
You're looking for the all spark. So,
because if you, let's be honest, I mean, everybody talked about it. We can go all the way back to 50 Cent. Ebro and everybody talked about 50 Cent killed the New York industry in terms of like the hip hop aspects of it. The rap, I'll say the rap aspects, because the hip hop ain't struggling, but the rap aspects got kind of broken down. The pillars got knocked down. 50 Cent exposed the fuckery. He exposed the facade.
Yeah.
Shout out to 50. Curtis is one.
Shout out to 50.
So
shout out to Atlanta too, because they shut shit down.
Yeah, because so the exposition when you, and this is what Attitude Era is all about. You look at people and you see the facade, you see the phony, you see the fake, you see the water, the thin blood, you see the weak genes, you see that they ain't made of sterner stuff. And you pull a card, and it don't have to be on no violent. We talking about just on some basic, like, skills to skills, man to man, culture test. You know what I'm saying? Temperature test, litmus test. We just want to build. And most of these people, we know a certain artist who, in their songs, everybody considers them the Black Messiah of hip hop. And in their songs, they say they little Black conscious little tidbits here and there, but we don't see or hear them anywhere else other than on the song.
Right.
Where they go. So
where you at?
Where you at? What you doing? Like to quote my guy Andre from League of Extraordinary Geeks, he just made a comment about he called the election a movement. And while I don't agree necessarily with the context of calling something that is cyclical and a part of the system a movement, I understand that the movement is more,
is a presentation.
Yeah, and it's the idea behind waking people up to the problem. Even if you believe that Kamala is a temporary solution, acknowledging the problem is the first step. So people have acknowledged there's a problem. That's good. That's great. Not everybody has supreme mathematics, so not everybody is going to think on a supreme level, and not everybody is going to draw things up from knowledge to born. So when they find simple solutions that aren't actually
Dude ain't even in office yet. Like
nah.
her partner is in office right now.
Yeah, but everybody knows that he ain't doing much. He not
All
doing
right.
much.
So where's the problem lies?
The problem is in the greater threat that is always looming. So we can get all the way to the root
Doom
of it.
is coming.
Exactly, like doomsday. We won't see him till doomsday. Yeah, so at the core of this, we have economic disparity, right? We have inequality.
Right.
We have and we lack freedom, justice, and equality in social, political, economic, education. We can go across the board. And we're talking about majority Black, brown people, what they used to call the minority, which is derogatory in and of itself. But now it's becoming the majority in America. So there's these disparages that exist. There's these inequalities that exist. And individuals are aware of these inequalities, like the average person. The problem is that, okay, so you acknowledge this economic inequality, this social inequality, this lack of freedom, justice, and equality, and all these ciphers. And so then what? You say, well, I know that there's a problem, but I don't know what to do. The government established that solution years back. They said we have to give them something to fight for, make them believe that the fight is real, and then give them the illusion of choice, right? The illusion of choice, meaning that they continue daily to tell you one thing when the reality is something else. And that deception keeps them remaining in the minority control, even though, they're a small group of people, but they control everything. And meanwhile, we're fighting back and forth over petty shit. And this cyclical 4-year voting mechanism is designed to galvanize and organize what could become a revolution or a revolt or overthrow. It galvanizes and organizes that into the vote. And then someone tells you, there's your power manifest. You've done your job. Good. You're a good citizen, right? Mm-hmm. No need to rebel. No need to revolt. Just vote.
Because that's where your power is at.
Exactly. So this is cyclical. And if you notice, it ebbs and flows. Let's just use this most recent time. Obama's in office. Black people happy. Oh, Democrats. Oh. Mm. Even though the Democrats still hated him because he was Black, some of them. Mm-hmm. But the fact of the matter is that it was still a Democrat. Oh. Mm-hmm. So on the other side, what do you think the opposing family is doing? The opposing people, the population that's against and are Republican or other, they hate it. They're mad. So through those years of Obama being in office, it starts to reach tipping point for the opposing fams, the opposing people. They get to that point where they say, we're about to revolt. Remember the militias started coming up and all this shit started happening? So then it swaps. Okay, these guys are satisfied and sedated. They back to sleep. Y'all about to revolt and go off. Here's a president for you. Take this. Take that banana. You know what I'm saying? So now they're satiated, they're satisfied, they're happy. Yeah. And then now the other side slowly starts to get exactly. Other side starts to get slowly dissatisfied.
I don't like this.
Yeah,
see off my belly with the banana. I don't like this shit.
No, sir, I don't like it.
No, sir, I don't like it.
So this is what I've observed, just my own personal observation. Every 4 years, every 4 to 8 years, the cycle, it's a pendulum and it swings back and forth. And it's designed to satisfy the dissatisfied. And then in that time period, while the satisfied are becoming dissatisfied, what was the dissatisfied, or what was the satisfied is slowly elevating back into dissatisfaction. And then as that dissatisfaction gets to a tipping point, they got this down to a science. They got it down to a science.
Heel in face. Heel versus face.
So if you remember, we can go all the way back to Rome. Rome established the Colosseum and the fights, the whole gladiator thing. Mm-hmm. That was designed to pacify the population.
Right.
And that pacification was saying, we already got sports in between for 4 years. And that sports is cyclical every year because every year the game starts over, Super Bowl, championship, every year.
Yeah.
And you got people that are so involved in that, they know the stats about every single thing. They know the stats for every athlete. They know the stats for every play. They know every this, every that. They know all the rules. But here's the joke, right? To quote Joker, the big punchline, none of them, the average person who knows all those stats does not know basic stats about their own lives. If you can tell me everything about Michael Jordan father, LeBron James child, tell me your family history.
What's
tell
your
me your
life
family
like?
tree. You know what I'm saying? You can tell me the net worth of LeBron James. You can tell me how much taxes he paid last year, how much his brand made.
Right.
What's your credit?
Yours?
You know what I'm saying? Where you at? Where your children at? Are your children at?
But people live through that, so they become icons. They become this bigger than life figures. Celebrity status in general. You know what I mean? And I guess people feel like they want to live through that. So they'll have all that shit down. And it's people actually into politics that way as well. Like everything. You know what I mean? They know what everyone said, quotes here and there, and down to a T to their life is a part of, it's tied into it. I mean, personal. You someone say something wrong, you ready to attack and fight. You know what I mean? You ready to go to blows for this particular person, and they don't even know you, man.
Their word is bond to his word is bond to her life. Her word is bond in his life. So therefore, what he says is so impactful on your life that you're willing to lay your life on the line to protect and to defend his words. And what we're talking about here is on a larger scale, we talk about there is no mystery God and that the black man is God. But on a basic level, that mystery God is not even talking about no religious, spiritual shit. We talking about the idea of you give power to people outside of yourself for every aspect of your life. You're granting power. You say that Michael Jordan is the best ever. Let that resonate for a second. You saying that man is God over you. Nah,
never give away your power.
Never give away your power. Don't idolize these people. Don't idolize these politicians. Don't idolize these rappers.
Right.
Don't idolize the drug dealer.
Right.
Don't idolize the killer. Don't idolize the director. Because all of these stations, these are people, men and women, who went through their zigzag zig to master that craft. Or they had opportunities because of the biases in society. Either way it go, they're there and you're not, but it does not mean you cannot get there too.
Exactly. And when you see that type of shit and then life goes on and you meet that motherfucker on some real shit, then that's the point that matters. And then you can bring up, hey, I seen you in the comic book store. Right. Oh yeah, I remember. Right. You know what I mean? And that even bonds you even more, stupids. So
good one. Got him. Got him. Hey, remember what Poe said? Poe was talking about how, he met the young kid. He was real. He said it was a little young kid and he was with his mom and whatever, ooh, after bam. And he said that, he took the time in that moment when that kid walked up on him and the mom was like, you don't know him, leave him alone. And he was like, no, this is so-and-so. And he Poe was like, yeah, I appreciate that. I took the time to build with him and give him some light in that moment. And he was talking about how later on that guy older comes back and was like, yeah, remember you
right.
Which now is giving the light back to Poe to let him know that, what you did is appreciated and valued and you worthy. You know what I'm saying? You deserve your spot.
Yeah.
He said on the contrary, had he, been one of them uppity bougies and, ain't got time.
Walk away when someone coming up to you, sign an autograph and shit.
Right. Not understanding the influence that you have on this young person's life. And you diss them. You push them off like they're op. You like, I ain't got time for you. You swerve on them.
Yeah.
Now that cat can come back. That individual comes back later, remembering how you played them, how you treated them, and could have something for you.
Right.
Whether it's, on whatever level they want to have something for you that ain't good. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because you chose not to build with them, now they choose to destroy in relation to you. And that could be as simple as assassination of character online. Every time somebody brings you up, they got a negative story about you.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't fuck with that dude because, man, I met him when I was younger, man, and he treated me like shit. I don't like that dude. I don't respect him. He ain't a good guy. Fuck that rap.
Yeah.
You don't want that. You don't want them problems. And I mean, to be honest, this is why when we were talking earlier about, just pulling the veil to see the man behind the curtain, what's really going on.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan. Okay, so I understand the concept of a character. Like when we deal with our youth program and we talking to youth, it's about teaching them how to build a character.
Exactly.
And not only, but inside of that is the character of you as an individual, and it's the same premise. The thing that defines the character in the story, the character Captain America, for example, the character Captain America is based on the values. What are the things that he cares about, and what are the things that he tolerates, and what are his boundaries?
Mm-hmm.
These things are what make Captain America Captain America. Right. And so when Sam Wilson steps in as Captain America, Steve Rogers' values and then Sam Wilson's values are similar. Mm-hmm. But Sam Wilson also has some unique values that are different from Rogers, which thus changes the character of Captain America now.
Yeah.
Those things
and
are
that's
the same
because
thing.
Of cultural.
Mm-hmm. So now take yourself as an individual. What's your character? Mm-hmm. What is the characteristics of you as an individual in your life? Right. Again, people can quote all that comic book shit. Tell me about yourself. Do you know yourself? Because if you're going to deal with that character, what's your character?
What's your character?
I'm measuring you. I'm sizing you up.
I'm Slapface Galactus.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So we got these. I
can tell you the root of everything about me. You know what I mean?
And that's the important part.
Yeah, there's no shame to them.
And it shouldn't be. And that's the thing. There's also weaknesses to Steve Rogers. We know that. Mm-hmm. We know there's different weaknesses for Sam Wilson.
Yep. And
the honesty of us as the audience, we see those weaknesses and we understand that he offsets his weaknesses with his strengths.
Right.
That's the art of war.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When you weak on the left, you balance it out with the strength on the right.
Hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you're more defensive of your left side because you're not able to defend yourself as easily from the left.
Right.
Yeah, and that's the same thing with your character. When you know you're weak in a certain area, you have to offset that weakness by strengths in other areas, other attributes of yourself. Mm-hmm. And that's listen.
All balance, because even when you said before with the people, you know what I mean? You got one group that's upset and then one group that's happy. You gotta balance all of that out. Now that's the same leveling off, tilting human. Like it's some human shit. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. It's
the psychology. So we talk about the characteristics of heroes. The characteristics of villains are pretty straightforward too. Typically, on the most basic level, the first characteristic of the most simplistic villain, not like the complex villains, but the most basic attribute or characteristic of a villain is that he does not respect your boundaries. He crosses lines, right? Yeah. He does not allow you to have the space to be yourself. He wants to control you.
Right.
He doesn't allow you the space to develop or grow and obtain your own wealth. He wants the wealth for himself.
Yeah, control, manipulate, self-service.
He will lie, cheat, and steal and murder to get to what he wants.
Yep.
And in many instances, he's a deceiver. He's a slanderer. So he will throw the rock and hide his hand, so to speak. Mm-hmm. Now, if you take all those characteristics I just said, and then I apply that to politicians, which one of them characteristics is untrue to a politician on the most basic level? And not to say that politicians are villains by definition, but the definition of a politician and what politicians do to each other during elections. They slander,
man.
They lie.
Throwing mud.
They they make false promises.
Yeah.
They cheat.
Yeah.
They steal. And we ain't
you steal. Shout out to Eddie Guerrero.
Exactly. But I mean,
used to lay down in the back. Eddie Guerrero was a fool, boy.
Yeah.
But sorry.
No, you good. Because I mean, that's the draw, right?
Stage, man, because that's a performance. You know what I mean?
It is the performance.
You got the performance to entertain, and that's all what all of this shit is. Lie, cheat, and steal. Someone say that's acting. You know what I mean?
It is.
Actors do the same thing. Wrestlers, all this shit. It's all relative. The world is a stage, bro.
It's all a show. And the question is, what are they trying to show you, and what are they trying to keep you from seeing? Because you got to think the concept of the sleight of hand. If I'm showing you this over here, there's something else going on in this. If I'm showing you this hand, there's something else going on in this hand.
Right.
You don't know.
My auntie used to say, "You never let your right hand know what your left hand is doing."
So now let's change that. Let's use it. Let's, instead of saying hands, let's talk about birds. You never let your right wing know what your left wing doing.
How you gonna fly?
And right wing and left wing are the political parties.
Yeah.
So the game is afoot, and we're in it. We're in the midst of it. One of the things that I don't like about the election season, and let me just throw this disclaimer out. I am not against elections or voting. I am not against it. What I am exposing, or what I am attempting to make knowledge born about, are the truths and realities that surround that environment, so that you are better educated to navigate through that, and not just go in there half-cocked and not even knowing who the real enemy is and what the real threat is.
Right.
Because they try to program you, because that's what this show is about. It's about programming you to believe what they want you to believe, so that you're not focused on the goals that you should have as an individual. Mm-hmm. And that individual goal should be should contribute to and add on to the collective goal of the larger mass of people that first are in your immediate family, then are in your community,
right,
and expand out from there, right?
Right.
And then from there, it's a nation.
Where it starts at home.
It starts at home. So if you're not focused on the real threats to your personal life, to your family's life, to your community's life, and you're being fed what your threat is. Oh, you in Chicago, your threat is the loss of Black jobs. Okay.
Black jobs.
Now, a lot of people was mad about that conversation. There's two sides to that. Okay. So you got a couple of uppities.
Well, you about to miss out on the biggest Black job. Yo, that shit was like an MC battle. Them motherfuckers was going back and forth. I thought, man, shit, they might as well brought the rock out and shit, just talk shit. Like, man. But anyway, yeah.
Oh, shit. So one side is mad because they were like, what's a black job? I don't know what a black job is. Oh. Well, let's talk about what a black job is. And it's not a racial thing, but
let's go.
But it is a racial thing, you know what I'm saying? Let's just talk about the hood. Let's talk about the blocks.
It's just hilarious to me. Cause like, where did this come from? Like, where the fuck this shit?
They giving us our conversations, so we not focused on real conversations.
What? All right,
so the black jobs. So you got the I'd say, like, I'm not going to be accurate because I don't know, but I'd say there's a healthy proportion of Black men. Let's just start with the Black men. There's a healthy portion of Black men who have been to prison.
Okay.
Who have been arrested.
Okay.
Who have a criminal record.
Okay.
That limits the jobs. Those same individuals also never went to college.
Right.
That limits the jobs. So the jobs reduce as you continue down this list, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these individuals are undereducated, even to the degree of high school.
Right.
Meaning they didn't focus enough on certain skill sets, and they didn't develop certain skill sets that are required for modern jobs.
Mm-hmm.
So where do these Black men of this particular qualification go for jobs? They're blue collars.
Blue collars, I was going to say.
Yeah, they're the blue collars. So now, yep.
Stuff that doesn't require too much background checking.
So now migrants
laborers.
Yeah. So when the migrants come in from other places, and this deals with a bigger conversation too, because the migrants are going to all of the cities where there's a Black population, a heavily Black population. They're pushing them all to the major democratic cities. So there's a design here. No, the migrants are not the enemy. The migrants did not plan this. The migrants did not design this.
So a lot of them did not want to go where they ended up. You know what I mean? They
They had
their own
family
plans.
elsewhere.
Yeah, they had their own plans and shit. Like, oh, we're gonna go and, like you said, link up with the family and make it bigger. Then their strength is in numbers, but they broke that shit up.
They did it on purpose because, again, you can't control people when they're organized and when they're grouped together. So you got to break them up. That's your plan? Nah, you want to go north? I'm sending your ass south.
Right.
So what did they do? These Republicans rounded up the migrants and set them 20 miles outside of those areas where their community thrives.
Mm-hmm.
They put them in our communities.
Mm-hmm.
So now these migrants are stuck here. And yes, they're getting jobs that are considered black jobs. Not saying that they're jobs only for black people, but we're speaking about the jobs that the
Based
average
off of civil well, I would say circumstances of society.
Exactly. That's the key. Because we're black, we're speaking about where does the average black person work? And again, we're not trying to dictate that this is a black thing. It is jobs that black people have. That's the concept of black jobs. Just want to clear that up. But now on the other side of this, the flip side of this, they're telling the middle to lower class white folks the same lie. They're taking your jobs. The migrants are taking your jobs. The migrants are coming into your communities and committing crimes. The migrants are coming to your community and doing this, that, and the third. So now you're telling them and us the same story to make these migrants the enemy, but you're the ones that are pushing the migrants to these particular areas.
So it's fear.
Fear. Face every action really. Like really face it. Like really look for what it is. Fear is an illusion. Fear is never anything more than your ignorance dictating the terms of your next step. That's what fear is. I don't know what's going to happen if I walk into that dark room. I don't know what's going to happen if I get on that stage. What if, and here's the key, what if I forget my rhymes? So now I'm scared.
I had those thoughts before.
Yeah.
I had those thoughts before. One time I had pulled Taiwan to the side. I was like, hey, nigga, how do local 181 go? He was like, what? I do.
Somehow right now.
It's not registering. How it start? And he went through it. Oh, yeah. All right, man. Thank you, man. But yeah, you run your shit off it, and it's a simple, like it wasn't a big stage or anything. It was a small show, but I was so caught up into this fear of not knowing my rhymes that
it choked the life out of you.
Yeah, I blocked out the rhyme. It was like, oh shit, man.
Yeah, man.
Don't do that to yourself, man. Don't ever do that to yourself. But the show ended up great.
Yep. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. The fear was a waste of your time. It wasted your time. Now, the construct of fear in certain circumstances is designed to protect you. So you in the wilderness, and you hear a noise in the background and you turn around and you don't see shit.
Now your defense is going up though. You know what I mean? So
you gotta lean into
charged up because I ain't gonna go out like no punk. You know what I mean? Like, all right, so what's up?
It's fight or flight. Fight or flight at that point. Yeah. So in those instances,
I had this experience. I had that experience last night. I was biking. I was going to this event out in Skokie, dude.
You bike to Skokie?
From where I'm at, it's a 30-minute ride.
Okay, not bad.
So, but I had to go past this like highway intersection type thing, and they had this forest preserve. And I mean, you look at this damn entrance, that shit was pitch black. All I seen was trees, and I was like, oh well, fuck you. Fuck you. My defenses went up. I'm going against this intersection, man. And it was one path, right? So I had to go in the intersection with the opposite traffic. So you seen these headlights coming at you. It's just like fucked up, dude. It was fucked up. But I had every right to be scared, but my defenses and fucking like you said, fight or flight kicked in. I was like, I'm out this bitch. Ooh, wow. And out in a second. And even I knew I had to face it coming back because I had to ride back. So you know what I mean? So you had to go against the grain once again. But yo, Fuck that shit. No,
The
there's
tr-
scary
it's the
places.
choice, man.
There's scary places. Don't get me wrong.
No, it's definitely
there's-
scary places.
it's
But I
scary
mean,
places.
it's what do? Do you let the fear dictate the reality for you, and you
Nah, I
stop
ain't
and
no
give up?
sucker though. I ain't
Nah.
nah. That's my point. I ain't no sucker. So once that shit kick in, boom, you push through it, and then you back in the hood. You know
And
what I
all of a sudden,
mean?
you be like, oh, that was nothing.
Yeah, that was shit, right? After that, it's like, yeah, that's a fun story to tell. Yeah,
You know what I'm
I was
saying?
shook like a motherfucker.
As a kid,
But you would too if you seen it, because it's
Mhm.
very like spooky. But anyway,
as a kid, when you get to that point where you realize, oh man, ain't shit in this basement. What I'm scared of.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and it
Yeah.
happened for me the first time. I remember I had the basement, it was
Hey,
dark.
but versus a forest preserve, nah, I think
Nah, when you're a
there's-
little kid and you in the
yeah.
basement, in the dark basement with the clinking furnace, and it's like a lot of little corners, and it's just like
Yeah.
it's scary.
Because that's charted territory, really,
Mhm.
and you
It's the
don't know this-
unknown,
Yeah, it's the unknown. It's the unknown.
and that's where it comes in. Do you allow? So most of us, like in politics, it's the unknown.
Mm-hmm.
Most of us, like we was talking about earlier, people know all the stats for the athletes. They know all the life of the rapper. They know everything about the net worth of the billionaire, but they don't know any of those same characteristics about themselves. So now, what are you afraid of when if the unknown is what you fear and you don't know yourself,
Right.
then you're afraid of success because you don't know what you can accomplish, because you don't even know what your skill sets. You don't know your character. So your character can't be put in certain situations and come out on top, because the nature of the character in the story is to overcome the obstacle. The protagonist must conquer and defeat the antagonist. But what happens when the antagonist is your own ignorance?
You're defeating yourself.
Right. You don't know how to win that battle, because the one thing that you need to win, you don't have, and you don't know how to get it.
Right.
So how do you learn about yourself? How do you set the standard when you still have to fit into your social equality? Because if you show up to the Friday night or the Monday night football game or the Monday morning with your boys and y'all get to talking and you didn't watch the game, they're gonna look at you sideways. So now you trying to fit in. Well, I ain't got time to study and learn about myself and get my shit right because I got to stay up on these stats. I don't have time. Oh, damn, man. I don't have time to focus on building myself because I'm too busy trying to learn about these other people. So now here comes election time, and politics is supposed to be about like who is going to be responsible for establishing the policy that affects your freedom, justice, and equality in social, political, economic, etc. ciphers. But you don't know yourself. So if you don't know yourself, do you even know for sure that you are facing inequalities? Or do you think that the way that your life is the way it's meant to be because that's the way it's been? So
Right.
you've been in poverty, you got bad credit, and that's all you know. So you start to create, this is what they call a psychosis. You have to rationalize your conditions to make yourself feel better.
Or cognitive
Dissonance.
There you go.
So now you hear lines
I
like,
say all that shit.
say it again, cognitive.
Cognitive. My Belizean shit.
You
I
like,
can't
nah.
say everything.
But I always listen to that line from Mobb Deep, Havoc, when he said, "No matter how much Luda get, I'm staying in the
And in the
project
projects.
forever." He said forever.
He did. Yeah, that's tough.
Like, why?
Yeah, that's tough.
Like, why? So, but here's
Which is not true. He's not in the project.
no. But at that time,
Havoc
young
is
and
very
ignorant, he believed that,
Right.
because you have.
Or
to,
is it a braggadocious
No,
thing?
it was a belief. We know people like that. Come on, we knew people that I'm gonna be on the block forever, nigga. I ain't going nowhere. Nah, the hood. I'm for it. I'm about this. This forever, man. I'm on this square forever, son. Nah. So it's ignorance. You don't know what you're capable of, and you believe that your conditions are who you are because carceral spaces. You've never achieved better. You've never seen better. Thus, the reason why when black people become wealthy, what is the first thing that niggas say?
They ain't Illuminati. They sold. They did this and they did that. They gave their life to the devil. They did
what he do
sacrifices.
for us? He ain't do nothing for our community. What money he put in for us?
But I like to. I mean, even in that concept, what he do for us? It's the concept. Let's deal with the scale of equality, right? Okay, if you think he's supposed to do something at that level, show me equivalent at your level. What did you do at your level that is equivalent?
Match the
hustle. Don't point out what's wrong and what ain't being done, and you're not doing anything yourself.
Right. If you were with the handout.
Yeah. Nah, it ain't what they doing for me.
I can see if you're
for
proactively into the community and can probably discuss the key points of what needs to be improved. But if you just with the handout, then no, that's not going to work.
So now back to politics. Most people are looking at politics as a handout. But they don't participate in any politics on the level that they can.
So, I mean, based off the structure, what part of can they, locally, you can always help out locally.
Yep.
You can always be involved. You could go to your town meetings and stuff like that. You could do stuff like that locally. And then you could say more of your voice and you could actually know who the people are and the delegates or whatever. And you could base a relationship off that. But other than that, though, I mean, based off what you just said, everything's a fantasy pick anyway. You know what I mean? It's choose your player, dude. It's Street Fighter. Choose your player, but you don't control the controller
unless you choose yourself.
Yeah, it's CPU.
That's why you can't play with the AI. You don't play with the AI. You don't and that's what we're talking about. They give us the choices. They give us the gaming system. But nah, I want augmented reality. You know what I'm saying? And this is what we talking about. So you have to have information. You have to have a knowledge base that augments your reality, that enhances what you're seeing, so that you see more than what everybody else see.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I'm talking about when I talk about like the whole concept of politics. How you gonna worry about Kamala Harris's platform, and then you like, for example, one of the platform points for Kamala Harris is that she's going to help first-time home buyers by providing an assistance for their down payment for the home up to $25,000 is the expectation and talk right now.
Gotcha. Right.
Everybody's like, oh, that's great.
Sound good.
Is it great though? What have you done to prepare to buy a home, motherfucker? So that's what I talk about participation, right? I don't want to hear that. Don't give me, I stand for that. Yeah, it's great. But are you prepared to receive the rights and benefits of that policy? No? So then what are you talking about? So if you want to talk policy and you want to talk politics, but you don't have yourself in order, are you prepared to utilize that tool? Because that's what they're offering.
Affect you.
That
really affects you. So back to that point, I mean, because all right, so what all right, Steve Harvey said
oh my goodness.
Steve Harvey said you blacks, us don't stop asking for shit because you know what I mean, there's proper ways to do things. It's some coon shit he was saying.
He said bullshit.
Yeah,
he is a part of the system. He is a part of the system.
Some coon shit, man.
He is designed to keep us asleep, to keep us sedated. He is a part of that mechanism.
In place and shit. Like, Negroes don't say nothing because massa here.
because there are organizations that lobby and threaten to withhold the vote of other communities if they do not receive any specific rights and benefits. Everybody is allowed to do it except us. And it's not that everybody's allowed to do it except us. Again, who's in control of you? You know what I'm saying? Like, who is really in control of you? Don't tell me about anything if you don't have that answer. If when I ask you, what are you doing for yourself, and you don't have an answer, then don't talk to me about what the politicians are doing and I need to know what Kamala's platform stands on. What does your motherfucking platform stand on? What do you stand
policies?
on? Right. What's your foundation? Like, what's your square? Tell me the corners of your square. You know what I'm saying? And this is the whole conversation, because when we say the world is a stage, the question is, are you a part of the crew? that's handling the lights and that's setting up the stage? Are you an actor on the stage? Or are you an audience member? Or are you the motherfucker who said, I ain't going to that shit. I'm gonna put my money somewhere else and start my own show. I'm gonna go over here and start Fly Nerd Group. Cause fuck CNN, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's the question. Like, what do you stand on? What are your values? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, Democrat, Republican, I don't give a fuck about none of that. I don't vote.
Neither.
I don't vote using policy of party. I vote based on my needs and who meets my personal needs, and my personal needs extend to my family, to my crew, to my community, to my culture, to my nation.
Get them.
That's it. If you running in this thing and they're telling you what you should be worried about, but then you was mad when he said you ain't black if you don't vote for me.
Yeah.
Well, that's what he's telling you
platform with black people around him. Like,
like go figure. Like what?
Nothing.
Oh, like okay. Like what are we saying? Like if everything that a politician says is that statement in different words.
Attitude era wasn't kicking back then, boy.
Nah, they wasn't ready for it. They wasn't ready.
Oh my God, she hit him with a chair.
I mean,
oh my gosh.
Until someone is honest, and a politician, let's just deal with this on the most basic level. Let's say the United States of America is a corporation. Let's just throw this concept out there. Theoretically, the United States is a corporation. As a corporation, it has its board of directors.
Right.
And its board of directors, like every other corporation that is public and has stocks, investors, right? Mm-hmm. You buy the stock, you have a say-so, and you get to vote on decisions that are influencing and affecting the corporation. But the corporation's bottom line is to make profit. So now, the United States is a corporation. They have their Congress, and their Congress has its president, and the president was voted in. The president, what is the president or the CEO of a corporation responsible for? Controlling the company, making sure that the company is profitable. Right?
Okay, yeah.
Just that simple.
Yeah.
Just that simple.
Yeah.
So the United States of America has a president. The president's primary focus is to make sure that America is successful. So now let's talk about what success for America looks like. It says life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That's his primary goal. For who?
For himself or us?
For who? Right. So here's where the conversation comes in. Because there's a lot of code words that are used in politics. For Americans. Mm-hmm. Everybody in America is a fucking American.
American, right.
So the Democrats say for Americans. Republicans say for Americans. Right. Who are you talking about? Who isn't an American? Everybody that can vote is a fucking American. So what is the code? What are they really saying? Why do they say that? And I'm not going to answer this particular question. I'm going to leave this for everybody to ponder and think about. Because when they're saying these words, they don't mean everybody. They can't. Because if they meant everybody, they can't follow up those same words with comments about Democrats. So the Democrats can't follow up that statement with comments about Republicans. So when Republicans are saying for Americans, there's one inference. And when Democrats say Americans, there's another inference. And I bet if we do our due diligence and research, we might find that answer is the same. And it don't include
calculations.
Right. I mean, so I'm going to leave that alone. But I want people to think about that. What is the actual goal of America? And remember, this same system with these same goals was in place during the enslavement period.
And it's still carrying on to this.
And that same system was in place during the indigenous American treaties that were broken.
Yep, still going on.
And the land that was stolen.
Right.
the same circumstances and conditions were in place.
Nobody resetted the system and rewrote.
Nothing has
yet.
changed.
That's what I'm saying. You're going by an old system. It's like using a computer in the 90s and shit. AOL
Right,
and
you
shit.
pulling up an Atari 2600, a Commodore 64, like 64 megabits.
Yeah, I made it. I made it in life. Flip it over Nintendo 64. Oh, he's playing GoldenEye.
My goodness, we thought we had made
We
it.
was killing them GoldenEye, boy.
Fuck that game, man.
Mario Kart.
Hey, GoldenEye and Ninja Gaiden 2.
Ooh.
I don't fuck, man. Listen, if
I
I can ever be in the same room alone with the guys who created those games,
you'll box them out.
yeah, and I'm like, yo, let me show you something. Because that was unnecessary. That was distress.
Yeah,
That was not
Ninja Gaiden. That's just a franchise.
That was torture. It was brutal.
I never got it to.
And it wasn't fun, brutal. It was like frustrating. Like motherfuckers really destroyed their controllers and TVs over that shit sometimes.
Yeah. It went to that point because, and they did it on purpose. You jerks. You fucking jerks.
They did it on purpose. Someone sat there programming that shit and was like, you know what? I'm gonna make this impossible.
Let's make this super hard. You know what? Fuck this.
Only 1% of the population will beat this. Ha ha ha.
That's when nerding go wrong and shit. Yeah.
I'll show them. You're voting for who? Not today. You'll be too busy boring. You'll be too busy losing to me. Like, get out of here, old head ass. Like, no. So that's
ass nigga.
That's politics. That's politics. Politics is Ninja Gaiden. You know what I'm saying? Politics is GoldenEye.
Hard game to beat.
Yeah, it's like I can't even beat these boards, man. Like, no. It's like, stop. Like, I haven't won yet. Like, what's wrong? I did everything. You know what I'm saying? And every 4 years you get an extra life.
Right. Yeah, nothing.
You know what I'm saying? You get an extra life. You get to heal every 4 years and start over. This time it'll be different, sir. It'll be different. And you run through it. Nah, then you end up in the same spot 4 years later.
2-panel spot. Oh shit. I gotta make that double jump.
Same spot every 4 years. Cyclical, non-stop. Non-stop. Like, so since we talking about the world as a stage, let's talk about the dumbed down rappers.
Which one?
The one that's intentionally dumbed down, which means he wasn't dumbed down. He wasn't dumb. Or she wasn't dumb.
When you dumb down stuff, let's just take that into a statement. So when you dumbing down something, that already means that wouldn't that mean that you're smart already?
So
unless you came out the gate dumb.
So it's
like Lupe had a song,
Dumb It Down.
Yeah. Right. And I always took it's like, yeah, Lupe, you a smart motherfucker. You're not.
But he did not dumb it down on that song at all.
He didn't dumb it down. And that's the irony of everything, because he didn't dumb shit down. I'm like, dude, you a funny motherfucker, dude.
Hey, anyway, that was great. But yeah, so if you think about the concept of dumb it down, right? Let's use newspapers, for example. I think they said that they made a decision years back. We're talking about a long ass time ago somewhere in the early 1900s. They made the decision to make all newspapers cap at a 5th grade level for reading and writing. So when you write an article for the newspaper, you write it for a 5th grade level or lower. So that means you don't use words greater than what a 5th grader would know. That's where the whole show, Are You Smarter Than a 5th Grader came from. It's like really saying, how smart is a 5th grader? Because they say dumbed down to a 5th grade level for all articles. So that means when you read the news, if as an adult you are no longer in school, so it's not like you have any curriculum that you're adhering to develop your mental, to cultivate your intelligence, to enhance your skills, to be able to read better. You're not learning new words on a daily basis. So your brain starts to settle into a space. So now if the only thing that you're reading on a regular basis is the newspaper, that's the concept of dumbing down, because the less you have to read big words, the more difficult it becomes to read them, as that normalcy becomes your behavioral pattern.
So that's a fucked up condition, because people read the paper every morning.
Exactly. And the average human being that is an adult does not read anything else.
Right.
So everything media-wise was reduced to the dumbed down concept of 5th grade level. So now fast forward. They decided to try to do the same thing with hip hop or with rappers.
What about Wall Street and stocks and all that shit?
Well, so the stocks are articles that are very exclusive. Most people don't even read that shit.
Yeah, right.
So again, there's exceptions to every rule.
Language. Yeah,
there's exceptions to the rule. However, they also know who their audience is. See what I'm saying? Because the person that's investing in stocks is the person that took the time to develop and learn that world, right?
Yes. Okay. Right.
There's a different breed there, and they know how the game works. You know what I'm saying? Like they used to say, you want to hide knowledge from a nigga, put it in a book.
Yep. Yeah.
And then they say, well, why is it that black people don't read? Well, because for 4 generations of accostage and human trafficking, we were not allowed to read, except for the Bible.
Right.
And in what reading level is the Bible? It's not even in fucking English. We was reading the King James version of the Bible. That's not English.
Right.
That's fucking Shakespearean. That's some made up shit for us today. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not how we speak. So you're reading words in the Bible that are out of context for your comprehension. So you're not really learning anything then, right? Because if you don't understand context and you can't comprehend.
But you are being structured to a false belief system.
At the most basic level, yeah. The rest of it is smoke and mirrors, but at the most basic construct, the design is always the same. Keep you focused on things outside of yourself as the power structure while you remain docile and submissive.
Yeah.
Giving power to outside forces.
Right.
You know, you don't know yourself or the origin of yourself. You don't realize that you are it. Like anything that you want in your life, if you don't make it happen for yourself, sitting and waiting for somebody else to do it is going to result in the condition that we are in right now. And that's the play, because we should know this by now. But of course, the system is designed to keep you programmed with that idea. So rap is the dominant music in the Black community, followed by R&B. So what are the messages primarily in, if you put rap and R&B together, the primary doctrines that are spit are
drugs and love.
No love. Nah, we ain't gonna say, we're gonna go back to the sex.
Well, I had a time. He did say that portion of the music. I mean, 70s R&B and 80s and 90s.
No, but I'm seeing, like, we're talking about during what we know as the official change.
Okay, all right.
During that transitional period. So we're talking like 90s and up.
Yeah. Okay.
When they took control of the music and said, nah, we're only going to sign and only going to promote artists who sound and speak on certain topics a certain way.
Yep.
That was sex, drugs, and murder.
Got you.
So now we also are looking at the same time an increase in
murder, kill.
Ooh, take nuts and screws out Ferris wheels. Nah, but they we saw a spike in teenage pregnancies, single mom homes, men that are going to jail, or men that are out there basically trying to go to jail or being murdered. And I say trying to go to jail, whereas with crime in one way or another, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's been glorified in the music that we listen to.
Mm-hmm.
You either lusting after a woman trying to have sex with her,
mm-hmm.
which also spreads STDs and other problems, along with the childbirth.
Oh, materialism as well.
Yeah, exactly. Making individuals who manufacture cheap clothing richer. And I'm a victim of that. I like style. I like fashion.
Yeah,
but I also understand its place. I understand its place. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a person that will.
It's about chains, jewelry, and stuff like that. And don't get me wrong. I know us African kings had great jewelry and stuff, but
they also controlled the minds.
Exactly.
You know, if we talk about blood diamonds, we're talking about a diamond that was passed from your ancestors into through the hands of more child trafficking and human trafficking, and then murder and shit, and then those shits was given to the De Beers, and then the De Beers laundered that shit, washed that shit, and then sold it to you at 100 to 1,000 times the value.
So it's just like you signing up to give your money away and your power away off the get-go. So
You bought something that was already yours at 100 to 1,000 times the value.
Yeah.
Because the whole planet Earth belongs to us. This our planet.
It's our shit.
All of it. All 196,940,000 square miles of this earth belongs to the original man, the original people. And we are falling victim. Dude, Louis Vuitton, since we on this subject before I spin back around, Louis Vuitton is literally an African print from one of the cloths that one of the tribes wore. Those symbols on Louis Vuitton are our symbols.
I never knew that.
Yeah, it's our symbols. Gucci, the concept of the double G, that was an idea taken from indigenous materials and clothing. All that luxury shit is ours anyway. All the designers are usually either behind every Italian or French or Spanish designer is a black creative.
Yeah.
And then eventually, you'll get a Virgil who gets into a top spot.
Mm-hmm.
Or you'll get a Pharrell.
Mm-hmm.
But we're still working for their houses.
Right.
We're still making their houses wealthy.
Yep.
But guess what? What did Ye say? They're not letting me in. If you're not playing in their sandbox, then you can't get. You're not going to do your own.
You can't do. Or sell your own shit
because as soon as you get there,
they're going to shut that shit down. Find legalities and all that other shit.
They're going to buy you at a premium.
Yep.
They're going to buy Off-White. They're going to buy Yeezy.
Yeah.
They're going to make you a part of their brand.
Yeah.
And they're going to give you pennies while they make the profit.
Yep.
And then coincidentally, you'll either pass away, rest in peace to the greats, or you'll be designated as crazy and dismissed from the contract. Rest in peace to the greats. You know what I'm saying? Either way, it's the same result. So now they control the wealth still.
Right.
They control the wealth still. And thus the world is still a stage because we're watching this stuff happen over and over again. How is this possible?
I'm trying to change the channel.
But on every channel is this. Hey, you ever seen the whole thing where they showed that the news, all the different people in the news have the same script, even if they're opposing news?
Yeah, I saw numerous things. Yeah, they say certain phrases and certain words.
It's psychology.
Yep.
It's this is psychology that that Hitler and the Nazis mastered when they were in power. And when those scientists after World War II, when we won, they migrated those scientists here to America. And those scientists joined the CIA or formed NASA. I always found it interesting that phonetically NASA and Nazi, you know what I'm saying? Like there's a connect, you know what I'm saying? And it's the scientists from that formed that organization, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but all those scientists came here and all that knowledge that they spent time studying, which was the knowledge of deception and manipulation and how to control people's minds. That's what Hitler was studying. All that came here, and suddenly the explosion of commercials became a thing. Marketing was revolutionized.
Yeah.
And everything became a thing of like how to manipulate better, how to better control, and how to better get into your head and make you think other than what you need to think and distract you from what you need to know. That was all a part of the plan. So a lot of people say that, that Hitler didn't lose, that the Nazis just migrated and just kind of absorbed into America. And that process became how America has maintained and sustained its power structure.
It's like Zemo Effect.
Listen. Doomsday.
Doomsday! Hey, Dr. Doom. Oh, man.
But I was but back to that dumbed down rapper thing though. Because that's
let's go ahead. Yeah.
So
wow.
in order to keep the population to go in the direction that they want us to go in, right? Because that's what it's really about. They started to only allow and promote the artists that were signed to them who spoke the bullshit. That's just that simple. And to this day, you have a hard time getting a deal if you don't fit the image, the moniker. You can't. Like, when was the last time you saw a Poor Righteous Teachers group get a major deal? When was the last time you saw a Public Enemy type group get a major deal? A Brand Nubian, an X-Clan. You know what I'm saying? Like, when was the last time? Look what they did to A Tribe Called Quest. Look what they did to De La Soul.
Yeah.
We watched them destroy our heroes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We watched them destroy the people that helped us establish this culture.
X-Men too. They stopped the X-Men. God damn, shit.
Yep. And you know who? And the major record execs, the Mr. Sinisters, who take pieces of the greats and graft them into other rappers and make these plants.
Yeah.
These mugs that are industry
experimental motherfuckers, boy. I'm telling you, you.
let me take a piece of his image. Let me take a piece of his skills, and let me put them on this guy who's gonna do whatever I say. And then we tell you, this album you did, I like it, but I need more guns. I need more drugs.
Come on, man. Drink this liquor right now. What you doing?
Yeah, we'll make you a star, but wear this. Here, take this skirt. You know what I'm saying? Like the things that they're requiring.
All these platforms.
You know, the things that they're requiring rappers to do. They're not required. Like that's, dude, when was the last time? Can you imagine if, man, I mean, I'm not even going to go there. Let's just keep it simple. I don't even want to go into this.
Yeah, it sounds like you was about to go dark.
Nah, let's just backtrack. Let me backtrack. The basic reality is that if you look at so let's just use Jay. And this is something that's interesting to me because I don't agree with everybody's summation of Jay. Number one, I remember Jay before they released Reasonable Doubt. Hawaiian Sophie Jay, what was I Can't Get With That original Flavor Jay.
Right? But did that really make it?
Let me explain. So I remember Jay on the radio freestyling with Big L and having these moments. And in these different freestyles, he would drop today's math and he would say peace, God, and build and all these things.
Yeah, that's true.
So then Jay gets out Reasonable Doubt. His flow is slowed down, but because his flow is slowed down, it revealed the complexity of rapping at that speed. Same thing with Twista. When Twista slows down, it's nasty. Because you realize to spit that way, the word structure is crazy when it's slowed down.
And the syllables and the matching of it have to be in harmony as well. It's a harmonization. Yeah, it's crazy. Anyway.
Yep. So Jay slowed his flow down, and he gave you a narrative of some shit because of what the industry wanted, and he blew up. So fast forward, he goes now on every album. I can point to songs or verses, bars, lyrics where he's dropping jewels. He's building on something. He's saying something. I can describe metaphors, even in Reasonable Doubt. The Evils.
Right.
He's going through. He's giving you, like, you know what I'm saying? It's subtle. He's giving it to you, but he's making his moves. Now he gets to a point where he's reached the pinnacle. He does Black Album and says he was retiring after that. But on Black Album, that's where he says, truth be told, he would rap. No, he would rhyme like Talib Kweli. Yeah. And then he said, I want to rhyme like Common Sense, but I did 5 mil. I ain't been rhyming like Common Sense. Come on. He's telling you, I fell victim. Yeah. I fell victim to the evils, which is what he was saying on Reasonable Doubt. Yeah. I'm letting you know, I know the truth. Right. But I'm going this route now.
And I always, kept it in my heart. I know what it is, but
I'm gonna be honest with you. Guess what? Guess the truth of it is, I do the same thing at my job. I bet you do the same thing at your job. You can't go in there and wear what you want and act how you want and speak how you want and do what you want. No, you got to go in there and you got to play the role to get your paycheck. Just because his paycheck is dramatically bigger than mine don't mean that his sacrifice and his choices for his job is less. It's different. No, it's the same shit. And honestly, I'd rather make millions of fucking dollars being a fucking asshole than what I'm doing now in a fucking office. So who's really the fucking fool here, right? Who's really the fool?
Whoopsie doo.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so
Me.
now Jay gets to the point where he's got enough wealth and he got enough power where can't nobody tell him shit. And every album since has been nothing but jewels.
So now he got the power. He can say what he wants.
He can say what he wants, but he had to get there.
Yeah.
And then I'm not one of those people that says, oh, because he's got money, he owes the community. He don't owe nobody shit. It starts with himself, then his family, which is secure, then his community, which he's secured. Everybody around him eating and has eaten. He has a company. Right. He has a business that hundreds of people work in.
Well, let's get into that. There's been a lot of changes in the major industry, and people been bubbling about these so-called high ups being laid off and shifted around. Even they are merging. Rock Nation are making a merger. I don't know which company, but there's been a big shift, and even the heavy hitters. Of course, Jay wouldn't be worried about that, but other motherfuckers are, because people. The plugs are losing their jobs, pretty much.
That's interesting. We'll see. But nonetheless, this is my point. He did all that. People was eating for years off of him. Millionaires were made off him. Like you said, I didn't make a millionaire.
Right.
So I haven't made anybody a fucking millionaire. I've given people some jewels, but not monetary. But I mean, if I give you a jewel that's not monetary, if that doesn't,
what's the value though? I mean, I gave out jewels. We all give out jewels.
But if you're still hungry and you still need to eat, and the jewel I provided you doesn't give you it's supposed to. If I give you knowledge yourself, then you're supposed to find within yourself the wealth to be able to accomplish what you accomplish. But the system is still a system. So anyway, all that to say, The Spook Who Sat by the Door is a great movie, is a great book. Shout out to Robert Greene.
Mm-hmm.
I think people need to pay attention to what that was about. It was about playing the role to get to a certain point and then using what you've gained to fight the system.
That's the art of war too.
And I think a lot of us overlook that statement, the revolution will not be televised. Because they teleplay everything. They tell that you're telegraphing all your plays.
You can't. Why would you televise that? Like, nah, that's not something. If you knew what goes on behind these productions, your favorite shows and all that, and movies and all that shit, you know everything is fake. The world is a stage. Everything is fake. Everything is set up. Every speech, every quote on a television. I mean, there was a motherfucker talking, and I saw the other motherfucker standing beside him saying the same words, but he reading them to himself, hoping that dude don't mess up. So if he did, he was going to help him real quick, but he was mouthing the same speech. Fuck out of here. The world is a stage, bro. Everything is set up. Ain't shit real. And when you know, I'm a photographer, nigga. I'm a cinematographer, nigga. You think I ain't never seen this shit before? Like, everything is a setup, bro. You go outside, you went around that United Center, it was security, it was cops, like all the cops was outside. All the cops. All of them.
Cops you ain't even seen.
Suited up. You walking through that bitch, they ain't give a fuck. They'll pop your ass. Man, they had shit. Man, their presence. Man, fuck out of here, man. So all that shit's staged. All that shit's set up. And y'all just be aware of that. I think you guys get the hint, man. We're going to get more in depth into this because just the world we in. You know what I mean?
Bad joke.
Yeah, it's a big bad joke. So, we got this lead into some other stuff. Please pay attention. There will be a part 2 of The World is a Stage. This is our first 2-parter. Ooh.
Y'all learning something today.
Yeah, man. Dropping all the gems and shit. So, let's close it out, man. We are the Fly Nerd Group. I am Blackface Galactus.
And I am Allow You Rockstar.
Word up. And we will tune in next time, folks. Thank you Follow, share, press the sub buttons. I heard subscription. Subscribe to us. Subscribe to the Fly Nerd Group. And thank you for everything. Peace.
Peace.
What you see is what you get.
WFNG.
Fly nerds. You see it and say it. Yeah. You see black excellence and intelligence we now combine. Fly nerds on the verge of connecting the minds. North, south, east, west over digital lines. Catalogs of the culture inside. Seen it with our own eyes. We done been through the trends and phases. The names and the legacy, the changing faces. We can't talk shop, only dealing the truth. You tuning in to the Fly Nerd Group, so let the people's in. Yeah.
WFNG.
FNG.
Fly Nerd Radio.
Yeah. So let the people in.
WFNG. Fly Nerd Radio.